And I'm live. Sorry if you have been waiting for me. There's been some exciting technical glitches this morning. And as ever, we know when technical glitches are arising because there's something pretty exciting coming your way. And I'm here this morning to introduce you guys to still movement. What is still movement? It's energetic movement. It's a circle of love between your body, your minds, and your soul. It's every single cell in your body involved in movement. Movement to where? To where you want to go. And for you, this is exciting because this is about welcoming the change that is relevant to you, the change that is wanted, that is needed, that in this moment might seem illogical or unfamiliar or maybe not right what you want right now, but it is leading you. It is leading you in the fastest way possible and the best way for you to your greatest good. And how does it do that? Via what feels good. Because we're always, forever, for eternity, when you are with me, aligning to what feels good. Feels good is your own personal, magical sat-nav that takes you towards true health. And what is my definition of true health? Every single cell in your body, physical and non-physical, doing the job that it's designed to do. Every single cell in your body is part of the you party. It's part of you living the life that you want to live. It's part of you living the life that made you come down here in the first place. Every single cell in your body aligning to your emphasized wants, what you want out of this life, and why you came. Because you are a powerful creator, and you came here to create a life you wanted to live. So if you're not living the life you want to live, ask yourself why. Ask yourself if you want to waste this precious moment, because you only get one go on the carousel. So should we make the most of it? If you're not sitting on the horse you want to sit on, should we get you on the horse? If you're not sitting in the carriage, maybe that's where you want to be because you're an energetic queen or king. Let's get you to where you want to be. And it all starts here. It starts now. Many of you will know me as a movement teacher. And some of you have experienced powerful energetic healing with me. My healing is all about returning you to flow. The flow that your body needs. The flow that it's designed to have. Maybe that's lymphatic. Maybe that's digestive. Maybe it's circulatory flow. Whatever it is, it amounts to true health. And the cells of your body doing what they're designed to do. If not, there's a gap that's created. And what your body, what yourself, what your whole you doesn't do is go, oh, computer says no, there's a gap. We can't fill it. That's not my job. No. Your cells are so much part of the you party that they go, there's a gap. I'll fill the gap. Even if it's not my job, I'll learn for that to be my job. And this is powerfully important because you don't want cells that just go, and the computer says no. That means suddenly a cell in your heart just stops doing its job. That means that because of that, the whole circulatory system shuts down. No. You want cells that overlap. You want cells that are so much part of the party that they want the you party to continue. So they're willing to step outside of their own capability. They're willing to step outside of their own capacity in that moment to keep the party going. And that is brilliant because we want the party to keep going. However, what we don't want is for the party to be fueled consistently and continually by cells that are working outside of their capacity or outside of their capability. It doesn't feel good. It's what leads you to disease, imbalance. It's what leads you to pain, to tension. It's what leads you to overwhelm, to stress, to that feeling of, oh, I just don't know what I'm doing with my life. It might seem like a wild jump from you. You might be able to get on board that cells that aren't doing their job could impact your physical health. But how can they impact the health of the whole of you? Because we talk non-physical cells of your energetic mind, which are so powerful at forming habitual patterns, which are so powerful at trying to protect you from things which you have experienced and no longer want to. And cells of your soul that hold the understanding of your purpose, your passion, your own unique magic. Your cells of your soul that hold that understanding, as all of your cells do, of why you came here, what you wanted out of this life. So now imagine every cell, physical and non-physical, lighting up with the energy of you, lighting up in that passion, in that prowess, and in that purpose. And now have a taste of the life that you could live. So when I talk to you about still movement, it's energetic movement. It's movement over those cells that are desperately needing to move. And it's still movement because although it's maybe not physical movement, it is still movement. Perhaps you're still in this moment. Perhaps you're listening to me lying in bed or sitting on the sofa or sitting on a train commuting to work with your eyes closed. Maybe you could do. Every time I'm live on here in still movement, which will be weekly, you can catch me on replay, you can catch me live, and you can be still, but you can be moving. And again, where are you moving towards? You're moving towards change. Because change is inherent in you, in every single cell. To be a part of that party, we are moving because we are changing. Because in every moment that you take another breath, or blink another blink, or scratch your head, your cells have created something else. Another breath, another blink, another movement, another thought. And in that creation, you have changed. You have worked. You have existed at every single cell. And therefore, you need to align to change. You need to start trusting me that change is a part of you. That's why we need to welcome it. Because if you are fearing change, if you are reticent, if you are avoiding change, you are avoiding a part of every single one of your cells. You are creating a conflict within. You are tethering yourself somewhere while a part of you is trying to drag you in the opposite direction. And it might be tiny, but the tinies will add up. And before you know it, you're going to be stuck somewhere, not able to change. It's like the handbrake's on, but you're revving the engine. That's a lot of energetic waste. That's a lot of draining of your tank. That's a body, a mind, or a soul that needs to nudge you and say, hey, we're not quite in balance here. I'm being dragged side to side. Can we do something to change that? Can we align to the truth of who you are and that change is a part of you? And we just need to start small. And with me, because I help you to welcome the change, there's an assurance of love. There's an assurance that any change that you feel with me is going to align to that which feels good. Because if it doesn't, you're going to ask the question of, how can I do this but find a way towards what feels good? When you allow what feels good to lead you, when you consistently choose and give yourself permission to align to that which feels good, you get to be masterful at that. You don't even have to think about it. It just happens. And when you align to what feels good, you will always, always be moving in the direction towards your greatest good, towards true health, towards the life that you want to live. So shall we begin today with our still movement session? Because today is not just an intro. Oh, no. It gives you an idea of what is to come. But we're starting now. We're bringing change now. And what change do we bring? Well, that, my friend, depends upon you. What change is relevant for you in this moment? Stop your conscious thought. Don't go there. Don't start writing a list in your mind of all the change you want. I'd like a bigger house. Oh, I'd like bigger boobs. Oh, I'd like my husband to buy me some flowers. Stop writing a list. Start aligning. Start allowing. Start feeling what feels good. So when you're ready, close down through your eyes. Take a breath to settle. Feel the trust, the divine trust rolling in for you now. Trusting yourself that this is where you need to be right now. Trusting God and your experience of living. Trusting that what will be brought to you will be exactly what you need and want. Exactly what is relevant to take you where you want to go. And then here comes the trust of me, and this is so needed. Some of you know me, maybe some of you don't. But I will be bringing you the unfamiliar. I will be bringing you the illogical. I want you to expect the unexpected. I will skew you, turn you around, make you think, what's going on? This is how I break you out of habitual patterns. I'm letting you into the secret magic, the source behind what happens. I need to take you towards unfamiliar and unexpected. But remember that assurance of love? We're only going in the direction of what feels good. It's only going to feel good. It's going to take you to what feels great divinely. So relax. And know that in this moment you really can welcome this change. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is actually bring you to a settling of your adrenal response. So I want you to picture your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve runs from your brain and it branches out into every cell within your brain. From there, you can feel it branching out more superficially to your skin cells, to your eyes, to your sinus cavity, to the follicles of your hair. Maybe you can feel it reaching into those non-physical cells of your energetic minds. The vagus nerve travels down through your throat, and again it's branching out to circulatory vessels, to lymphatic vessels, to lymph nodes. As it comes down under your collarbones, past the hollow of your throat, again it branches out. It's infiltrating muscles, skin cells. It's certainly running down your arms, but keep your eye on the trunk of the body. That vagus nerve branching, the parasympathetic nervous system reaching the cells of your heart, your lungs, your thymus. Over on your left side, it's reaching into your spleen. Below that, it reaches the diaphragm. From your diaphragm, that trunk of the vagus nerve now branches rapidly. Stomach, high on the left side. Liver, behind your solar plexus, higher up than most people think your liver. Powerful organ, involved in so much change within your body. Branching down, you might feel it hit your pancreas, your kidneys, certainly impacting those adrenal glands. Don't forget skin, blood vessels, lymphatic system. It's coming down to bladder. It's coming down to small intestine. It's infiltrating the ascending, the transverse and the descending large intestine. It's infiltrating down into your reproductive organs. And it's certainly travelling down through your legs. And again, keep your eye on the trunk of that body. Why am I igniting your parasympathetic nervous system? Because it's a route to what feels good. Many of your, know that when my throat goes funny, it's because there's an energy holding there that's helping to hold you in trust. Because some of this for you guys is new. And newness is good. And newness is exciting. And newness is wanted. But sometimes in the unfamiliar, we think that it doesn't feel good. We confuse a feeling of familiarity with what feels good. And it's not. It tricks you. Habitual patterns are saying, hey, we've been here before. We know what to do. It brings you to a false sense of safety and security. But the truth is, you don't need habitual patterns for that. Habitual patterns of moving, habitual patterns of behaving, habitual patterns of thinking, they all boil down to the same thing. Habitual patterns of your cells acting outside of their capacity and outside of their capability. And they need to do it habitually because it's outside of their capacity and capability. The habitual nature means that those cells can do that and still work and still exist. And it works for a short period of time. But when a reliance comes on those habitual patterns, you're relying upon cells to work outside of their capacity and capability. And this drags you a little bit away from the you party. It drags you a little bit away from true health. The lines between what feels good and what feels familiar start to get blurred. And we hang into familiarity because we so desire that safety, that security. When really, that exists outside of the habitual patterns, because safety and security exist because you are anchored in you. Feel that now. Feel the truth of that. That as you anchor into who you really are, it doesn't matter where you go, how you move, how your life changes in the way that you want it to, because you comes with you. Anchoring into you doesn't mean that you're anchored into a place, a moment, a time, a way of thinking or moving or behaving. It means that you're anchored to you. And as you change and those patterns become less and less relevant to you, less and less helpful to you, if you anchor into you, you move with the change. I keep getting the visual of the dog in the car. You know, the dog in the car that's looking out the window and it recognizes it's not moving, but it's moving. Itself is not moving, but it's moving in the car. That's similar to you being anchored into you. You is constantly moving. So therefore, even if you don't feel like you're going anywhere, you are. Your cells are moving and changing. You are moving in each and every moment. So anchoring into that will bring you that feeling of safety and security. And we're going to ask now the ancient energy of spectrum to swoop in. Again, for many of you, this will feel unfamiliar. This is something you can access. It's an ancient energy of light, colour and sound. And the reason you can taste it in this moment is because I'm bringing it to you. It's something that I can ignite within you and that you can have at your disposal eternally and for eternity, past this physical life and into your non-physical existence. But for now, taste the potency of spectrum. Because what does spectrum do? It brings you to good, always, only and ever to good. And you might find as we step through this, that you're brought to good experiences. Maybe it's in this present moment, what you feel right now as I'm talking. Maybe a thought pops into your head. You remember something from history past, from what has been. And you think to yourself, why am I thinking of that? And maybe a little part of your conscious mind goes, supposed to be concentrating on Bryony. That thought dropped in for a reason. That's spectrum. Allow spectrum to drop in what it needs to. Maybe it's not a thought about history past, but instead history future, where you're going, the change that you see, the change that you're energizing, the change that you want. How can I see the future? You can see what you want. You do it all the time. Many of us do it in a negative way. Many of us sit in traffic and picture ourselves being late for work or school pickup. But with me, you get to expect positive outcome. Remember, we're aligning to what feels good, and Spectrum is bringing you only good. So expect with positivity now what is to come, because what is to come is going to be for your greatest good. The first thing I'm going to say is, don't worry if you don't connect to the experience. Maybe you don't see the colours or feel the textures. Maybe you don't get that drop in of that thought or that reminder of that experience. But watch out for it. Spectrum might bring it to you for the rest of today. Don't dismiss it. If you catch yourself thinking, why am I thinking about that? You know why you're thinking about that. And what happens when those experiences drop in? It will elicit a vibrational, energetic reaction within your body. It might connect you to a positive flow of energy. It might even connect you to high energy. And that positive flow is what starts the role of fluid consequences. It starts the role of positive change for you. Let's give you an example. Maybe as we connect you to Spectrum, you feel a light within your body. Maybe you feel a connection to a warmth. Maybe that flicks you to a holiday past where you were sat on your hotel balcony feeling the sun on your face, feel it warm the cells of you. Maybe that brings you to a soothing. And in that moment, high energy, positive energy is elicited, and that feeling of peace and love and joy radiates through your body. Maybe it passes from cell to cell. Maybe it reaches a cell that needs that injection of positivity. And maybe that injection of positivity lights up the ability for it to return to true. In that moment, as it returns to true, it starts to do the job that it's designed to do. It becomes part of the party. Don't underestimate how much one little cell joining the party could change. Change what? Change you. Maybe it releases a tension. Maybe that softens the impact on a nerve. Maybe that releases a tingle. Maybe the impact means that there's a flow of blood. Maybe that flow of blood delivers what is needed to another cell to do its job. Maybe it takes away toxins from a different group of cells, meaning they can do their job. Can you see the ball rolling? This is what I do. I am your starting pistol. Me and Spectrum, we're together going to start the winds of change and to start the balls of change rolling. Your job is to discover where they go. And don't let that be difficult. Let it be exciting. Let it be full of fun and play. And if you miss it, it will come back again if it's important. You just jump on another one with me, another one of these with me. You experience still movement. You taste what feels good. And with each time that you do this, you become more and more masterful with aligning to what feels good, allowing the change, welcoming the change, and noticing the change. Because the more you notice it and the more you celebrate it, guess what? The more of those fluid consequences you kick off, the bigger the change gets, the easier it is to notice, and more fluid consequences kick off. In what direction? In the direction that's relevant to you. And that is why doing these regularly with me, it's not about ticking a box. It's not about filling a hole. It's not about fixing something. It's about, what do you need in this moment? And then this one, and then this one. Because it will be different every time, and you could listen to the same video, or you could do a lucky dip of my videos and you'll be brought to the one that's going to help you the most in that moment. So let's return to that parasympathetic nervous system. Let's ask Spectrum now to join us. So I want you to feel, as you connect back into the top of the vagus nerve in your brain, I want you to feel a warming red colour. It's a radiating of heat. It's a fluffy blanket that is wrapping itself around the branching network of those nerves. Maybe it's filling up the fluffy blanket from within. And don't let that lead you to that feeling of clogging up. Don't let that lead you to something can't move as it needs to. Remember, this is spectrum. This red, fluffy, comfy, snuggly energy is moving, growing, infiltrating through those branching nerves. And what I want you to be aware of is as it moves, it will slow at certain points. It might even stop and pull there as it needs to grow more. You might find that it jumps to another part of your body. Be aware. This is where spectrum is flowing the change that is needed. And initially, we are quietening the adrenal response. We are igniting your parasympathetic nervous system. We are bringing you to a foundation of trust. We are anchoring you into true. We are bringing that feeling of safety and security. And as we anchor you in that, your cells are learning that they don't need their habitual patterns to feel safe, to feel secure. Safety and security for me are the jumping off point. They're the diving board that you spring off to get to joy, to get to fun, to get to play. And you'll discover that when Bryony is in play, you want to join that party. Play, for me, is where it all happens. Play brings you opportunity. So much opportunity to taste change. But before we get there, we need to help you to welcome the change in. Before you can run, skipping into the playground, you need to be sure that you're going to feel safe in there. That it's going to feel good. Now you might be ready to move on from this fluffy warm colour because I'm bringing you to the opposite. I'm bringing you now back at the top in your brain to a cooling flow of blue. It's a blue colour that's tinged with white. I want you to picture that melting icicle as the water just drips off the bottom and flows through that branching network. Where is it flowing? Where is it pooling? Where do you feel the cooling? Allow the cooling to be pleasant. Imagine it's you on a hot, hot day and you're just dipping your toe into a cool lake. You're feeling the coolness rise. You're feeling it flow through you exactly where you need it. Allow yourself to stay with the cooling blue if that's where you need to be. Because next we're coming to golden yellow. And the golden yellow is viscous. It's thick. It rolls and it gathers momentum. But it takes a while as it kind of blobs through and around those branching networks. You might find that bits kind of drip off. Where do they fall? Where do they go? None of this is random. If you're waiting for the first drip to fall, where is it that you're holding? Maybe it's within the cells of your brain. Maybe it's bringing change to the non-physical cells of your energetic minds. Maybe it's holding around some of those organs that I've mentioned. Or maybe it's more superficial, like it's coating you from the outside into a lycra superhero costume, sticking to you, holding you, ensuring you are all of you, calling you not just all that you are, but from there, springing off into all that you can be. Lastly, green. So back to the top, inside your brain. Green is a radiating light, and it feels like lightness. Feel the difference to that thick, viscous, blobby, golden yellow as the green brings in the lightness. And you might even feel the yellow kind of fade to green. It radiates, it travels fast, it illuminates you from within. It's a pale green. I want you to think of it's nature. It's sunlight bouncing off a light green leaf. It's a hue. It's a hazy green sunrise. And you say to me, is there green in the sunrise? There's every light in the sunrise. Maybe it's harder to see sometimes, but it's there. It's as yellow fades to green. It's as the yellow light of the sun mixes with that blue of the sky. It's in the borders of the colours, but it's everywhere. It's wrapping all around you. It's almost like you're swimming in it, but you are it, radiating both from the outside in and the inside out. Feel how those cells open and expand. Feel how they bring a lightness. Feel how they shed a heaviness maybe that was preventing them from doing exactly what they need to do to be part of the you party. Still yourself now, in this moment. Settling into what? Into truly you. Because it's not still, it's moving. You are changing in this moment. Allow yourself to change. Welcome the change. Trust that this change is taking you exactly where you need it to go. Breathe into it. As you breathe in, feel the expansive nature reaching you out through your fingertips to where you want to go, to the life you want to live, to the body you want to have, to the change that you so desire. And as you breathe out, feel the anchoring, the drawing back to true. From that anchoring of all that you are, breathe in again. Feel the expansion into all that you could be, the life that you could have, the life that you want. And in every moment as you breathe out, you're anchoring back to you. There's that safety, there's that security. No longer any need for those habitual patterns. Your safety, your security comes from trusting the truth of you. And in that trust, you breathe in, you expand, you feel the joy, the fun, the play that is out there as you look towards the life you want to live, the body you want to have, the change you want to welcome. From here, it's a perfect jumping off point into any one of my next videos. Look out for the changes. Share them with me. Celebrate them together. And I'll see you on the bounce. Take care. Have a good day.